What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Z Loading back with another video, another reaction video to be more precise. And this, what is this shit called? The Full Story of Tay-K documentary. I was never that big of a Tay-K fan, but like he has some nice songs. I fuck with some of his songs. I can't like the only song I know by name is like The Race or whatever that show's called. But like let's see the documentary, cause that nigga, I know this nigga's like a fucking demon. Hold on, let's just get straight into this shit.
He has been in prison for the last 6 years out of a 55-year sentence given to him by a jury. Prior to this, he was on house arrest for 8 months when suddenly he sent out a tweet stating he had enough. He and his best friend cut off their ankle monitors and said they were going on the run, and if police wanted them, they were going to have to come find them. It would take U.S. Marshals a 3-month nationwide search when they eventually apprehended him on the other side of the country, with Tay-K taunting them every step of the way. Eventually,
fucking nut. I'm not gonna lie.
He was captured, but he had one more trick up his sleeve to show the world. Just hours after his arrest, a music video to his song titled "The Race" was published on a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah.
After social media got a hold of it, there was no going back. Almost overnight, Tay-K would have a viral hit on his hands.
Yeah, that's the song.
People were now tuning into this story of a 17-year-old kid who ran.
Not gonna lie, that picture's hard.
Made songs about it, and you couldn't even help but watch it. But nobody at the time knew the severity of his crimes. The blood of 2 innocent people had been shed.
Taylor McIntyre ever so slightly rolled his head to the side as a judge announced his 55-year prison sentence for the murder of Ethan Walker.
Now at 22 years old, he says he never had the chance to be an adult. One of his co-defendants, who was a white female, only got 10 years of probation. But Tay-K was ultimately sentenced to 55 years in prison for just one of the murders. This led to him stating if he was white, he wouldn't have received such a harsh punishment.
That's probably true.
All he wants is a second chance.
You got the world going crazy right now? I heard something about it.
I was terrorizing, you was kicking rocks, nigga.
Nah, this nigga's a fucking
Taylor
menace.
McIntyre was born June 16, 2000 in Long Beach, California.
He looked like his mom.
In deep Crips territory. Both of his parents were gang members, and even though his dad was always in and out of prison, his mom was still active with the Baby Insane Crips, while raising the 2 kids, him and his sister Kayla. But things really took a turn for the worse when his dad was doing a 7-year run in prison for a deal gone bad in 2002. Without a father figure around, it was hard for him to find guidance. Eventually, their mom was unable to raise them.
How old is this
found
nigga?
themselves in the foster care system, bouncing around from different families who ultimately didn't want them.
Been in foster care since we were like
That's his sister?
really young, like
That's his sister? She got some nice tattoos, I'm not gonna lie, she got some nice tattoos.
damn near all our life.
She got some nice tattoos, that's all I'm gonna say.
We never stayed with our parents. We kind of stayed in different foster homes, bouncing around.
This was him and his sister.
She don't look like
Tay-K.
Tay-K.
Stayed in the foster care system, and they
She don't look like
really
Tay-K.
experienced Christmas as a kid. Eventually, his mom did escape the gang life, and she relocated the family about 4 hours away to Las Vegas. They ended up only spending about a year there until 2009, and that's because his dad was released after serving his 7 years. Being forced to Texas was the last thing they wanted, but Tamor was enrolled in elementary school and then eventually middle school.
His name was Tamor.
Still, he and his sister felt trapped with their dad, who by now had started to abuse them badly for the smallest things. He didn't want to think about it, and he wanted to be anywhere else but home, so he stayed at friends' houses as much as he could. Now the streets welcomed him, and he welcomed the streets.
Bitch, I'm 15 and I don't fuck with 12. All you niggas Microsoft, so tell me. I love
In 2014, he was a freshman at Martin High School, but most of his time was spent freestyling with his friends. They called themselves the Daytona Boys.
No, wait, hold on. How old is this nigga? Because this nigga has just been tall as fuck this entire video. Like, how old is he? Why are these little ass kids hanging out with this grown ass nigga?
His time was spent freestyling with his friends. They called themselves the Daytona Boys. They were rowdy and loud and would rap and smoke weed whether they went to school that day or ditched. 3 people made up the Daytona Boys: Eric Johnson or Santana Sage, Jalen Bell or Pimps, and Tamor, who now rapped as Tay-K-47. In addition, they had a manager named Ezra who was important to the team and handled everything behind the scenes. To them, Daytona Boys was a brotherhood, and the group knew they had something special, so they figured why not start uploading on SoundCloud. But even with music in his life, he just couldn't stay out of trouble. This old tweet shows a letter of him being expelled from high school after he brought marijuana on grounds. He didn't want to go back to school, and he expelled from high school.
He got expelled? Bro, you know what is crazy? This nigga, I remember my senior year, this nigga got caught with mad weed, mad grinders, scales, all of that shit in his car. And this nigga got suspended for like a week. Nigga was white, but like, bro, that's not crazy. This nigga got expelled for having weed on him, but that nigga got suspended for like 3 days. That's fucking insane to me.
After he brought
That's
marijuana
insane.
on grounds. He didn't want to go back to school.
Oh
and he
God, if
couldn't
that
go
nigga
back
was
home,
black, that nigga
so
would have been
nothing really
expelled from the
mattered.
district. Oh my
TK
lord.
would often sleep over Pimp's house at night, and after being kicked out of high school, they
Them
only
shirts
grew
are fire.
closer. He was on his own at 15 years old. Now his full attention was on his music and social media, pushing the Daytona Boys as much as he could, being seen in interviews before anyone even knew who they were.
Take A47 from Daytona Boys.
Pimpies from Daytona Boys. Shout out to my nigga Ezra.
And with their manager's help, they were even booking shows. After their shows would run into 2 a.m. and in the night, they were in the streets doing what they believed they had to do, robbing, stealing, and toting guns, and anyone who got in their way would learn with death.
With death? That nigga has more than one body, bro. Keep this nigga in jail, low-key.
Carloads of people who just left a party New Year's morning 2016.
This is what happens when you don't got a father figure in the home.
On December 31st, 2015, the Daytona Boys were at a New Year's show in Arlington and finished around 2 a.m. Santana Sage was the only one with a car, and he always drove everyone around, with TK and Pimps in the front and back. They left and pulled up to a stoplight when another vehicle pulled alongside them. From here forward, it's unsure what exactly happened next, but we do know that Santana Sage fired a gun into the other vehicle, killing a 21-year-old college student, Sarah Mushlanger, in cold blood, driving off with TK and Pimps as the passengers. He was later arrested after police used his Twitter account to match the vehicle.
It was a series of Twitter posts that they say led them to Jackson,
Niggas really be
all the way from this.
Niggas really be getting sent to jail off of some
His
Twitter
defense was
fingers,
that the
bro. That's
Daytona Boys were
crazy.
being called racial slurs by the other car, and that provoked Santana, but he only meant to scare them with the gunshots. But it didn't matter. An innocent girl was dead, and her parents were left to wonder why.
Y'all believe that they were getting called racial slurs? I don't know. A nigga like me keeping my window rolled up and blasting my music, but that's just me though.
We okay.
TK and Pimps, however, were both minors and faced no charges. Their names weren't even mentioned in court. And when you can just walk away from something that big, it makes you feel invincible. After a 6-month trial, a jury only took 3 hours to find Santana Sage guilty and gave him 44 years in prison.
44
We, the
years.
juries, find the defendant, Eric Jamal Johnson, guilty of the offense of murder.
TK was still only 15 years old at that time. He had no money, nowhere to live, and was not legally allowed to work. He needed a way to survive, and he had to do something. On July 26, 2016, TK, Pimps, and 5 others would
How old is
formulate a
TK?
plan.
Hold on.
Sean Robinson,
How old is
Lotharian
TK?
Merritt, Ariana Barrett, Megan Holt.
Bro,
and a
this
minor.
nigga's only 22. This nigga's, bro, oh my god. This nigga's 2 years older than me. Fuck, that nigga's life is fucked.
Her name Mia. Together they made a
Damn.
plan to rob Mia's boyfriend, 17-year-old Zachary Bellet, while he was inside of his home. Their plan would go like this. Zachary and his roommate Ethan were staying at a house located on the 1500 block of Mansfield, Texas. TK and the 6 others met in an apartment where they gathered weapons and talked over the plan. Pimps got brass knuckles and 2 of the men grabbed guns. TK was unarmed and says he told the group to have his back in case anything went down. Mia and her 2 friends Ariana and Megan left to Zachary's house around 5 p.m. They made it seem as if they just wanted to smoke and hang out. But what Zachary didn't know was that TK, Pimps, Sean, and Lotharian were waiting down the street in a car for a text message. It seemed simple enough, but that night their plans quickly fell apart.
They got a 15-year-old in the car though. That's crazy. The fuck?
When the 3 girls arrived, they were surprised to see there was a lot more people in the home than they expected, and this pushed their plans back by hours. But they couldn't wait forever. 10 p.m. was approaching. TK and the others became impatient as well.
Nigga, y'all couldn't put it off for a day? Nah, see, niggas is
The
dumb, bro.
girls
Come
decided
on,
to
lock
go ahead
in.
with their plan and made their way to the door to unlock it when no one was looking. 4 men burst
Yo.
into the home, 2 of them armed with
Damn.
guns.
Hold on, who just hit me with the follow? Oh, Buzz Business Market. Hey, yo, I appreciate you for the follow, gang. Really appreciate you. We just watching this little documentary on TK. Oh, and by the way, YouTube, we live on Twitch right now. So if y'all want to pull up, my Twitch is Call Me Zelo.
Zachary at gunpoint, and Lotharian held Ethan Walker at gunpoint, with TK and Pimps still looking for anything of value, but they came short of what they were promised. The next few minutes happened fast, but when they hesitated, Lotharian panicked, and without even remember doing it, he shot Ethan Walker in the stomach, killing him. Sean would panic at the same time after hearing the first shot go off, and he would shoot Zachary, striking him in his shoulder, but only injuring him. They knew they messed up, and it was only a matter of time of when they got caught. In this now famous video that shows TK crying during his interrogation, prosecutors and investigators were trying to figure out what exactly happened that night.
Yo, I gotta see this.
He finally broke down and admitted to robbing, but he says he never shot or knew that anyone would be killed.
New at 6, video of teen rapper TK as police question him about his role in a deadly home invasion in Mansfield.
He had just turned 16 years old and was being held in juvenile detention for 2 weeks until an adult could pick him up. His sister Kayla had just bought her apartment after...
Yeah. TK's sister got some real nice tattoos. Her lashes, them big butterfly lashes, really match her tattoos, bruh. She really don't look nothing like TK though. I'm not gonna lie. She look like her own person.
Saving up for months and could now be his guardian since she turned 18.
I had got my apartment. Like I said, we didn't have a lot of family like that. And Kimbo,
yeah, you get
released. Juveniles get released. She is cool. At some point, they're gonna get released. You know, so like he got released.
I like her hair.
I had my apartment. I was 18.
He was officially released by a juvenile court judge only if he agreed to wear a constant surveillance ankle monitor. Pimps was also released on house arrest and stayed close with TK.
How old is this nigga
talk
Pimps?
Online every night. Police kept Kayla's apartment on constant surveillance and pulled over anyone who left their building. TK spent most of his time online, tweeting out things like this, asking his friends to come over and record since he was on house arrest. Releasing only a few songs on SoundCloud at the time, he was saving the rest for something else. The world hadn't really heard of TK's name yet, but he saw a marketing opportunity where nobody else did. From July of 2016 all the way to March of 2017,
so this nigga was like,
almost 8 months he stayed locked in his room thinking about his next move.
Crying that he
the stress was getting
That's
to him.
Crazy.
Although only 16, he was looking to be charged as an adult. He had no lawyer, no money, and didn't know what was going to happen to him.
Nigga didn't even get a public attorney.
Blast crack phones like a bass. Papa nigga, then I go out my way.
He didn't even shoot him. He just said he ain't even shoot him. Hold on. Nigga capping.
On Sunday, March 26, 2017, late into the night, TK would post this now infamous tweet saying he was done with house arrest, and social media would spread it around.
Slow.
He called Pimps and the two made a plan. They would both cut their ankle monitors off and make it clear to the world that this was all a game to them. And if police wanted them, they were going to have to play hide and seek. They needed to get out of town, and their first stop would be 3 hours away in San Antonio, where they laid low for a few weeks. TK had no regard for being wanted. He was spotted by fans at malls or even ordering food at local spots. Pimps had been messaging a photographer for a few days named Mark Salvador who lived around the San Antonio area, and they were planning to meet up to take pictures.
Niggas goes on a
but
run,
in reality, TK and
allows
Pimps
people to
needed
post
money,
videos of him.
and they planned to rob an innocent man.
I mean, he was a
camera
kid though.
Equipment. They planned to meet around 5 p.m. near an empty parking garage. Mark would show up and hop into the car to smoke, and when he got inside, they would take everything he had and then forcefully kick him out of the vehicle. But when this went down, things didn't go according to plan. Again. Mark began yelling as loud as he could for help, and he ran toward the street. They sped up after him, trying to run him over, but he landed on the hood and held on as they drove off. They had to pull into a Chick-fil-A parking lot nearby to get him off. When the car stopped, Mark got up, stomped on the windshield as hard as he could, breaking it. This agitated TK, and he allegedly leaned out the window and shot him, flinging his body onto the ground and leaving him there to die. Unknowing that this was all captured by a nearby surveillance. Now only one thing mattered to TK and Pimps. They had the camera equipment and a little bit of money to get to their next stop, but they needed to stop by home in Arlington first.
Now this nigga got some decent music out though, I'm not gonna lie. This nigga's just a fucking
nut. By now,
nut.
San Antonio police had already tied TK and Pimps to the murder of Mark from last month at Chick-fil-A. Realizing they needed to leave immediately, they planned to go on a 23-hour car ride to New Jersey, where they knew a few people and a place to stay. Any money they had left would be used just to get there, and they needed every dollar. He even had someone willing to do a music video for free if he went to Jersey. By now, it was early June. Police were receiving tips on his whereabouts, posting wanted posters in areas they believed the two to be. Of course, Tay-K only saw this as another marketing opportunity.
Yo, that's actually a hard-ass picture.
About his race from the police.
He saw it as a marketing opportunity. When he saw it as a marketing opportunity, you know what he did? Created a song called The Race. I'm the Tay-K, and he's running around, he's showing they got my face on this, whatever.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, that shit's kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of hard, but that's just stupid as shit.
To make it better, he wanted to release the song on his birthday. Those following his SoundCloud and Twitter were the first to hear the song, but there was no video just yet. Tay-K, along with the help of a cameraman, would film the music video to The Race the following day, and he didn't charge him a penny for it. It would only take about a day to edit the video, but it was ready whenever Tay-K was. The two spent their last weeks of freedom hiding and eluding the law in New Jersey. Marshals could tell they were getting close to capturing him, and
whose house is this?
It was simply a matter of when.
Bro, I could never do all that stacking shit. That's just hard as shit.
Exactly 2 weeks after his birthday, both were eventually apprehended in a New Jersey home.
Naruto Jutsu
A total of 3 months spanning 96 days, and the race had finally ended June 30th, 2017. But Tay-K still had one more trick up his sleeve, and he wanted the whole world to know his story before he went down. Just 2 hours after he was arrested, the music video to The Race was uploaded to YouTube. The story of this shooter kid 17? Who ran from the U.S. Marshals and filmed a music video while doing it.
He was 17 at the
People were
song?
instantly engaged, and social media pushed it to every corner of the internet. People couldn't help but tune into the song as it was
DJ
hundreds of thousands of views
hey, look
every
at
day,
Ghost.
showing no signs of slowing down. Some of the first remixes and endorsements by other rappers showed up, and the hashtag #FreeTay-K was being posted, but nobody really acknowledged what he was now facing. Now, law enforcement wanted to make an example out of Tay-K, and Texas shows no mercy for the crime of murder. A month after being arrested, a judge ruled to sentence
him. Niggas really do be doing that shit. They'll say free whoever if they make good music. That shit's actually insane. This nigga killed people, bro.
Adult at 17 years old. But in the outside world,
this nigga do make good music though. I'm not gonna lie.
By now, and some record labels
this beat hard. Who made this beat?
He would still sign a deal amid 2 murder charges. Using all
How
of
the fuck he signed a
songs,
deal?
He released a project titled Santana World, with The Race headlining the project, and of course, it was very successful. Over the course of the next 6 months, The Race would accumulate over 100 million views, including a remix from 21 Savage and Young Nudy, making him one of the only artists in history to have a massive hit song and never perform it. Yet he still appeared to have high hopes of beating his case and coming out the other side a free man.
No, bro,
to
you're
him,
stuck. You're stuck. I'm not gonna lie, gang.
Soon be out. But now, early into 2018, sentences for the 2016 murder of Ethan Walker began being handed out.
Oh, this song! I remember this song. This shit was hard. Oh my god! I remember this song. Oh, what was his name? What was this song called? I forgot.
The first to go down was Megan Holt.
Bro, I gotta find that song again. That shit was hard as shit.
The courts recognized her as the mastermind behind the whole thing, while Mia, Zach's girlfriend, had been cooperating and working closely with the police, and in exchange was only given a 10-year probation sentence.
No, 10 years is kind of shit.
Dominoes around Tay-K were starting to fall. He had already been denied bond, and now the state district judge was upset with the internet's support for him.
Isn't this shit called Hard?
It's my understanding that people throughout this country have Tay-K signs up, and this court has a problem with that. Just after his bail was denied, Letharian Merritt was also sentenced to 40 years after being named the person who shot Ethan Walker and the gunman. Later in June, the media reported that Tay-K was being sued by Mark Salvador's parents for $1 million in damages for the Chick-fil-A killing. This is after finding out he had become a superstar since his capture almost a year before. The following month in July, the parents of Ethan Walker and Zachary Below would follow suit, seeking an additional $1 million from the profits made off of the race. While this is happening, Adam 22 was able to get an exclusive 10-minute phone interview from jail where Tay-K would tell the world he was going to be out soon.
That's crazy to think about. That you probably would have already seen the world right now if you weren't locked up. Like there's crazy amount of opportunities.
Yo, this nigga Adam is fucking ugly.
Yeah. I mean, next year gonna be there. I'm gonna be out soon, hopefully.
But during this interview, he also made a huge mistake by admitting he had an iPad in his jail cell.
I got a tablet. Like, I got an iPad. I be listening to music in it.
Yo, this nigga's a
Just days later, he would have a shakedown where the iPad was found, with Adam later even stating he felt guilty for it happening.
The management
nigga really could have edited that. I said edited it. That nigga really could have edited that part out of the call, bro, or the little interview. This nigga Adam is a narc. I could never.
Did not ask me to remove the part where he talked about having an iPad. And so then
So
he
you
gets
kept
in
it in.
solitary, all kinds of
So he
whatever
kept it in.
additional charges because he had an iPad.
Yo, this
and
nigga's
he's
an
just in jail
old man.
using the iPad.
By August, TK transferred from the Tarrant County Jail in Texas to a maximum security Long Evans Correction Center, being put into a solitary confinement cell for 23 hours a day.
Some shit
but
like
he
that.
never lost his positive optimism, and he posted a picture of himself on Twitter. The caption read, "Live from the gates of hell."
Imagine they didn't figure out he had an iPad and he started dropping more music.
Another sentence was handed to Ariana Barrett for aggravated robbery in exchange for her testifying against the remaining 3 men.
Yo, hold on. The fuck she got on? Bro, why look like she like a motherfucking Mortal Kombat character? Hold on, let me show y'all what I mean. Hold on, bro. Hold on, bro. It looked like she got this shit on. Like, bro, am I tweaking? Like, bro, that's exactly what she got on.
Ariana Barrett for aggravated robbery.
That's crazy.
In exchange for her testifying against the remaining 3 men, she was only given 25 years.
25 years?
A week after that, Sean Robinson was given 40 years for the murder. Pimps and TK were still left waiting for their sentence, both indicted for a second murder charge of Mark Salvador. Pimps was even offered a deal to testify against TK, but he never turned his back. To him, it was still a brotherhood there, and loyalty was forever.
Shit, a nigga like me.
In November of 2018, Pimps was paid
like
the
a
ultimate
bird.
price for his crimes, pleading guilty to 2 counts of aggravated robbery of Ethan Walker and Mark Salvador, being given 30 years.
30? Why everybody get less time than
TK's
TK?
best friend was gone.
God damn, who's
now
cutting
he
his
was
hair?
the final man standing, and the world wanted to know what was going to happen to him, but no one as much as he wanted to know.
55 years is.
The jury deliberated for a little longer than 3 hours today here before deciding on that 55-year sentence. That song.
In July of 2019,
I feel like it's because
trial
of the
finally
song,
began.
bro. If
3
he didn't do
years
the
of
race
evidence and
and make that
testimony
song,
being
bro,
gathered,
he would not have got
prosecutors had
55
a
years.
strong case. He pleaded guilty for aggravated robbery, but not the murder. His defense argued that he was a minor who played the least significant role, but it was apparent the jury had already heard enough. The lyrics for the race were legally being used against him, and they even stated that he thrived off the violence and showed no remorse for his actions.
Oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure, I don't know what year this is going to take place, but pretty soon the juries aren't going to be able to do that anymore. Like, they can't use lyrics and shit in court cases no more pretty soon. I don't know if it's this year, next year, the year after, but it's going to happen pretty soon.
It only lasted 1 week, and by that Friday, the jury unanimously decided that he was guilty. Tamor says he was only 16 and misguided at the time when this all happened, claiming he was never given a chance to be an adult. His misguided childhood is sad but should never be used as an excuse for taking the lives of others. Turning 22 years old from behind a cell, TK has definitely matured and is more open to talking about his treatment in prison. And he argues the question, is he rightfully owed a second chance to make things right?
Maybe. Shit. Well, YouTube, that's that. Y'all think TK should get another chance at adulthood? Damn, 55. What is he? He's 22 now. He got sentenced when he was, what, 17? Yo, that nigga might fuck around. I'm not even finna say that, but hey, I appreciate y'all for checking out the video. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that. I appreciate y'all. Z Loaded, checking out.